What's up, my dudes? Got some big info coming in for No Man's Sky Beyond, right? So, Sean Murray just recently did a interview on IGN, and he's talking about basically the whole third pillar, right? So, there was three different main pillars that were supposed to come with No Man's Sky Beyond. What the hell, yellow planet am I on right now, dog? Jesus Christ. Fucking too much mustard on the hamburger, dog. Good lord, look at this. Oh my god. That is some damn yellow, if I've ever seen yellow. Oh my god, I've never seen a planet that was this yellow before. Like, I literally can't even see where I'm going. It's so yellow. But either way, back to the point of this video here. Like, I don't even, I'm like, I don't know if I can even really show this on YouTube. It's going to be kind of annoying seeing that much yellow on the screen. But either way, basically, the main three pillars for Beyond is, and they kind of one by one announced them, right? They said that, we were going to be getting VR for No Man's Sky. That was one of the big pillars. And then another big pillar was No Man's Sky Online, which is a more extended online experience, not like a full-blown MMO, but closer to that versus the little, you can only play with like 4 people at one time, the current No Man's Sky Next multiplayer system, right? So it's going to be that was the two main pillars that they pretty much announced, and we were all kind of questioning, what is the third pillar? Well, finally Sean Murray let us in on it, right? So he's calling the third pillar No Man's Sky 2.0. That's basically what it's called, and to sum it up in the most simple way to you, it's pretty much just a expandment of every other standard gameplay element of the game, right? So it's expanding base building, it's expanding exploration, it's expanding things you can do with the creatures. It's just kind of expanding every other gameplay element of the game, and that's sort of what he means by No Man's Sky 2.0. So this is all coming with Beyond really soon. What is it, August 14th when it comes out? So we're real close, dogs. So this is really cool to see all this. So basically, I'm going to get into the actual specifics of what he said in the interview itself about specifically the No Man's Sky 2.0 pillar, which we all sort of expected the No Man's Sky Beyond to have more to it than just VR and No Man's Sky Online. Like, come on now, you know what I'm saying, dog? Like, we all expected it to have more than that, right? It's not like I'm over here like, I'm the only guy that thought that there would be this or whatever. It's not. We all pretty much knew it was going to have some of this, but there's some definite surprises in here, man. I mean, there really is. There's some things on here that I'm really surprised they're putting in this early on before they've put in some other things. So either way, basically, let's just start it off with the newer animal creature things that you can do in the game. So basically, now you can actually farm animals, and you can tame the animals and milk the creatures as well. So this is insane, dog. And by the way, you can mount up and ride on the damn creatures, dude. You can actually mount up on them. And I've talked about the whole being able to mount up on a creature from the very get-go. This is before No Man's Sky even came out. I literally thought that would have been the way you were going to be able to traverse the planets versus vehicles. I thought it was going to be where you actually mounted on the creatures on that particular planet versus, this is way before they ever had the announcement of vehicles in the game or anything like that. So I had thought, I literally remember making a No Man's Sky mounts and pets video like multiple years ago, dude. I'm talking like right after the game came out, or maybe even before the game came out. It was before any of their actual updates to the game. I know that for sure. So I think it was like right after the game came out, because they had like a little, I saw a creature on a planet, like this was like back in 2016, like a big mushroom creature on a planet, and I like jumped up on top of the creature, and I could actually stand on the creature while it was moving, and I was like, wow, you can basically mount up on a creature without actually having a mount system in the game, But this is super badass right here. I've been waiting on them to do more with the creatures. There's just not enough creature content, like as far as what you can do with them, the interaction with them. All you can really do is basically feed them, let them shit out some resources or kill them. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Or just gaze at them and, scan them and discover them. But there's got to be more than that. There's got to be more to the actual creature aspect of the game. And that seems to be what they're doing here with this No Man's Sky 2.0 pillar of Beyond. I mean, if there was ever a time to come back to No Man's Sky, it's now, because they're actually to the point where they're starting to change integral and update integral core gameplay elements of that original game, right? So being able to do more with the animals, actually farming animals. I don't know what the hell that really means. I don't know if that means like getting farming like skinning, or in a way, or whatever kind of way you would do that in a more futuristic game like this. I don't know. But it says farming animals. He says farming and taming them. So you're going to have some sort of pet system. That's basically what taming means. Now, I don't know if it's just as simple as like, kind of how you tame a wolf on fucking Minecraft. Like, that's pretty simple versus like basically catching a Pokemon in a Pokeball and actually having that thing there. I don't know what the extent of that really is, or what that actually means when he says tame the creatures. But I don't know, because you probably are not going to be able to take one creature from one planet to another planet. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So it may be really simple, right? And they may update the taming pet system in the future. But what I kind of think is going to be pretty simple at the beginning, where it's basically just you feed it and it like will stick around a certain area, or it'll kind of like saves its place where it won't phase out. And it's kind of like your little pet in that certain area. I don't know how you actually, like, I guess, I don't know if you can like build a fence and put it in a fenced in area, like some damn cattle, damn alien cattle. I don't really know how that works. But either way, there's going to be a lot more to that. And then obviously the creature riding, which is kind of silly at this point. I'm really surprised they're even putting that in there now that you have vehicles. I couldn't imagine, like, what's the benefit of creature riding other than it looking badass? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what's the benefit of hopping on a creature and riding a creature versus just hopping in your vehicle and riding around in a vehicle? Like, there's got to be some sort of benefit or something here to doing that. I don't know if it like raises your your connection with the creature, or it'll like attack things for you if you're riding around on the creature. It'll like protect you that way. I don't have any. I mean, there's a plethora of different things, and Sean Murray's obviously not saying everything in that interview. You know what I mean? There's a lot more stuff that could definitely be coming along with that there. So you just got to always remember that, right? There's definitely more to it. But he also mentions that it's going to have twice the features. Whenever you went in there and looked at the patch notes of No Man's Sky Next, if you actually go in there and look at the patch notes of that, he says that No Man's Sky Beyond is going to have twice the amount of basically newer feature patch notes in it than what Next had, which is a lot. I mean, that's going to be a lot of newer improvements to all kinds of shit is what I'm guessing. I mean, really, with No Man's Sky 2.0, I mean, for them to go that far to say that, No Man's Sky 2 basically is what they're saying, because that's technically where they're at in the update cycle now. It's like actually to the point where it's 2.0 now. Which were 16, 17, 18, 19, 3 years. I guess technically, not a full 3 years, but, or is it shit, I can't even remember. Somewhere around 3 years since the games came out. So, and we've just been getting steady improvements over time. But another thing he basically said, he was saying that he wanted to improve upon every different aspect of the game and every different way that you can play the game, whether that be discovering, exploring, base building, farming, all the different things that people do in the game. Now, he didn't mention combat or actual space. Like, I know a lot of people want to land on asteroids and have more combat stuff like sniper rifles with scopes, and he didn't really mention too much of that. He just kind of went down. So basically, the other little set of things that he mentioned that's going to be coming with Beyond, as far as the discovery side of thing, is a new galactic map. I don't really know what that's going to consist of exactly. A new discoveries page. Jesus Christ, thank God. I've been wanting this since the very first day I played this game on day one back in 2016. Where the hell is that discoveries page that we used to see back in those early E3 trailers? Why do we have this little shitty ass discoveries page that you can't it's like you're barely seeing. Let me scan something real quick so I can actually show it to you. Where's those little creatures at? I mean, I cannot believe it's taken them almost 3 years to update the discoveries page. Holy shit, Sean Murray. Holy shit, Sherlock. I'm glad we're doing it now, but goddamn, dog. Like, I literally would have thought this would have been something you would have updated in the very first patch of the game. Not even the very first update, but the very first patch. Because look at the discoveries page. Like, you can basically look at the creature like this, but you can't rotate it. You can't get this, like, full screen view of the creature. If you guys remember some of those very early on E3 trailers of this game, you could actually, like, it literally showed, like, a full-blown 3D. You could rotate the creature, full screen view of the creature, all these cool ass things you could do with the discoveries page. But now you can't do that at all. There's none of that. Oh, and by the way, you used to be able to scan rocks like this, right? And then go back and look at them. You could scan everything. You could scan trees, rocks, waypoints, formations, creatures, everything. And you could go back and look at all that in your actual discoveries page. But now when you scan a rock, there is no place for rocks or rock formations. It's considered like basically a like a element. It's not even considered like a scannable thing anymore, which is really disappointing, and I hope he brings that back with this new discoveries page, so thank God. So that's kind of what he means by improving, exploration. So it's a new galactic map, new discoveries page, new alien word system, so that's pretty cool. And then the whole aspect of, and a lot of you guys speculated this, but they're going to have where you can actually meet NPCs on the ground, randomly on the ground, walking around on the ground. And you're going to be able to see random NPCs walking around in space stations and stuff like that versus them being very static and being in one place, stuck in one building here or stuck in the space station, not moving. You're going to be able to actually see them walking around, and I'm assuming you're going to be able to see them flying around. You're literally going to be able to see like an NPC hop in their ship, like, literally randomly just over here on the side of a mountain like that, and then just fly off. Or see an NPC in their own little built base somewhere. I mean, I'm kind of expanding that a little bit more than what Sean Murray said, but I would assume that's what it would be. You're going to actually have that more dynamic, real NPC interactions on the ground and shit like that now. So that's super cool in a discoveries aspect. And the whole new alien word system, that's cool. I'm not sure exactly what that consists of per se, but we'll have to wait and see on that. I really don't know what that means. So now, one thing I was a little bit disappointed in not hearing Sean Murray speak much about in his interview, and there may be quite a bit of this in the Beyond update, he just didn't really mention it, but I'm kind of upset that it wasn't really like important enough for him to mention in the interview. The whole variation thing, right? The biome variation, creature variation, rock variation, random shit like that. Just the variation of the planets in general. I didn't hear him talk much about that at all. But that was steadily improved upon all the way around when Next came out. So I'm sure it'll be the same way. Every aspect of it will just be steadily improved upon, like the water effects, the different kind of trees, different kind of creatures, different kind of biome designs, all that kind of stuff. But that's the one thing I was kind of a little bit disappointed with in the interview. Didn't hear him mention too much of that. Actual variation of the planets, like creature sizes, tree sizes, rock sizes, ocean deepnesses, all that kind of shit. Didn't really hear too much about that. So, I don't know. And going back to the whole discoveries page thing, that's going to be so cool to be able to just scan a creature like this, right? Like you're the first person to ever actually see that creature. And then you can go into your discoveries page if it's like what I think it's going to be and be able to actually look at that creature full screen and rotate the creature. That's like the whole point of it, right? So you can go back and look at all of your discoveries. But the thing about it is you see, the way the discoveries page is now, it kind of makes it pointless to even discover anything because you're looking at it in a tiny little thumbnail image that you can't rotate at all. By the way, you could actually rotate the image when the game first came out, and now you can't. I don't know why Sean Murray, I think he was trying to fix a bug with that or something, but literally, like, you can't even rotate it. So that's going to be so cool when we actually have that full-blown discoveries page. But my whole thing is, what's the point of discovering things if you're seeing the same thing on, damn near every 10 planets? You're seeing the same creatures, same trees, same stuff. If they don't have enough variation in there, then there's no point in discovering anything anyways. Even if you have a sick-ass discoveries page, because everybody's going to be discovering the same shit over and over and over, I want megalodon underwater creatures. I want skyscraper-size creatures walking on land, ginormous creatures. Like, we got to have that, dog. So, I didn't really see much of that in the trailer or hear much of that in Sean Murray's, he wasn't like, oh, we've really expanded on our creature animations and creature models and, the size that creatures can be. And, we haven't really expanded, he didn't say anything about expanding biomes or much on that, hardly at all. So I was slightly disappointed on that. Like I say, that could totally be in there. We just don't know it yet, but it obviously wasn't important enough to really mention as a big new feature with Beyond. So either way. So another thing he did actually mention in the interview is more expanding on the base building, right? So you're actually going to be able to have electricity now. You're going to have logic. You're going to be able to make mini computers. You know kind of how Minecraft is, where you can do logic and fucking redstone, all that kind of stuff, right? So you're going to be able to probably make like doors, trap doors. So you can make solar panels. There's more industrial type building things. So you're going to be able to make more like miners and extractors and things like that. Way more expanding on the base building. And there's even going to be more expanding with the vehicles as well. I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot more you can do with the customization of the vehicles. And I know you're going to be able to actually ride in first person on the vehicles as well. I did see that in a trailer, which you can't do currently. You can do first person in your ship, but not actually on an on-land vehicle. So I don't know, dude. There's a lot of stuff, new stuff in this No Man's Sky 2.0, basically the third pillar of Beyond, right? That I don't even think Sean Murray even had enough time to talk about all of it that was going to be in it, right? I think it's literally, to explain it to you the best way is it's just expanding every single aspect of the game currently. So that's talking about base building. That's talking about, creature and discoveries page and exploration and resources and everything. I mean, the way I took it was literally an improvement on every aspect of the game. But then we're also giving you No Man's Sky VR and No Man's Sky Online. But the 2.0 pillar is basically just a push of every single other aspect of the game. So maybe there is, that biome improvement, variation improvement, but I don't know if we're ever going to get that full-blown variation improvement like I want there to be in the game unless they dedicate an entire update to it, right? Like, I almost feel like you have to have an entire update strictly dedicated to the variation of the creatures, trees, plant models, rock models, biome designs, just the different, like the way the hills can be generated. Like, you never fly down on a planet on No Man's Sky and just see some insanity like 300-foot up, down, generated super sharp ass mountains all over the entire planet, like just some completely alien, and then some super 300-foot tall, seaweed type plant that's on land, literally like 300-foot tall, tons of them, look like a full-blown jungle. There's a lot of different things that you don't really see in this game. Full-blown dune planets, certain stuff like that. You just still, ice planets, right? Volcanoes, a lot of different little things that they could definitely still improve on in that category. And I don't know if we're going to get it with Beyond in this whole No Man's Sky 2.0 thing. I really don't know if we're going to actually get that yet. I don't know. They have got to make their jungles and their forest feel more like an actual jungle in a forest, When you look at it from a distance, it looks kind of silly, right? But once you get up to it, then it starts to feel more like you're actually in a true forest or a true jungle, but they gotta expand upon that, expand upon the small bush, thick, literally like you're traipsing through goddamn, Vietnam jungle or something. Like, they gotta make the forest feel more like a forest or more like a jungle. They've got to have more of that eventually. But either way, just wanted to give you guys a little recap of that interview for the No Man's Sky 2.0 third pillar of Beyond. And that's basically what Sean Murray wrapped it up as. Pretty much all he said. The improvement to the animals, being able to tame animals, farm animals, ride on animals, right? And then the whole more expanded bases, electricity, logic, mini computers, solar panels, shit like that. And then the new galactic map, new discoveries page, new alien word system, and being able to actually meet NPCs randomly on the ground and stuff like that. So that's all coming with Beyond. Pretty badass, if you ask me. And then more that he didn't even mention, too. So we'll just have to wait and see on the rest of the little small intricacy features and stuff was some of the things. But either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Be looking out for some new No Man's Sky content on my channel. I'll be checking out Beyond, just like a lot of other people will be. So, yeah, man, appreciate all the support. Later, dudes.